Reverse aging, turning the clock back, aging backwards, apparently these are all things that can be done, but no matter what I do, every year my birthday comes along and every year I'm 1 year older. And the truth is I'd rather not be a year older, but there you have it. So I kind of got frustrated by this whole thing and I started digging around the internet to see what I could find. And the first thing I came across was this guy over at Harvard, Dr. David Sinclair. And him and his lab at Harvard, they have been doing a bunch of work on kind of resetting the aging clock at the cellular level. Now, whether or not they're going to make enough progress for it to affect how I age and my ability to turn back the clock, well, I'm not holding my breath. There is a woman, Miranda Esmond-White, and about 20 years ago, maybe a little over that, she came up with this idea of kind of lengthening and stretching, what we might call today dynamic stretching. And according to her, if you follow this practice, if this is something that you do on a regular basis, you can age backwards. But as a personal trainer, there are a couple of things that are kind of missing, at least from my point of view, okay? One thing is strength training, lifting some heavy weights, which I think is critical to aging well. And the other thing is really getting that heart rate up and really taxing the cardiovascular system. And so when I kind of thought about it and said, okay, can Miranda help me age backwards? My conclusion was, yeah, not so much. This was definitely becoming a problem, like reversing my aging process or aging backwards. I couldn't find anything that kind of made me say, okay, I'm on board with this. So I did something pretty freaking crazy, and I started to research some medical sites. And the more I researched, what became clear is in the medical profession, they're not using the term reverse aging or stopping the clock or aging backwards, because medically, that's just not a thing. But what is a thing, what you can do is kind of embrace this idea of aging gracefully. And I think the genesis of this is, look, if you do all you can to take the best care of yourself as possible, then you're going to be the best version of yourself that you can be regardless of your age. So this made a lot of sense to my brain. So I started to read through their list, and I'm going to share that with you and how I think I'm doing on each of these things. And of course, the first thing on their list, the first thing is something that I used to do actually a lot of, and I did it for quite a while. But about 20 or 25 years ago, I stopped doing it. And that was smoking cigarettes. There was a time where I was pretty darn addicted to nicotine. But now it's hard for me to believe that I actually did that. And it's been so long, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm doing the first thing on their list, which is don't smoke. Now, number two is something that they want you to do in moderation, and that is drinking alcohol. They're okay with a glass of wine or two here and there, but really, if you want to age gracefully, one of the things that they're saying is that you need to watch how much you drink. And being that I don't drink at all, I'm pretty much 2 for 2. Now, the next thing on the list is something I used to be great at. I did it for long stretches of time. I did it in multiple places, and it was something that I had absolutely no problem with. But as I've gotten older, I found it more elusive. I have found it harder to really do well. And what is that? That's frickin' sleep. I watch my caffeine intake and my screen time, and I try and do all of the things that they recommend to get good sleep, but it doesn't always happen. Okay, the fourth thing on their list is something I sit down with all of my clients at the gym and I'm like, hey, have you done this? What has this person told you? Is there anything that we should be aware of? Anything that we should be correcting? Anything that is of concern? Who is this person? It's your doctor. It's my doctor. And I really look at my doctor as a critical piece of kind of my healthcare team. In fact, my doctor is my quarterback. Number 4 on the list, go see your doctor. I do that regularly. Number 5 is eat better. And you know what? I eat pretty well, so I'm good there. And number 6 is exercise. And sometimes I think I exercise too much. I guess I'm not going to turn back the clock because no matter what I do, my hair, what's left of it, continues to get gray. And keeping those pounds off becomes a little bit harder every year. And aches and pains, I seem to get new ones. And I guess that's part of getting older. And I have to learn to be okay with that. But how? How do I learn to accept this? The first thing is to stop feeling guilty about things that happened in the past. Look, when we look backwards, when we carry around guilt about our past, our attention is focused behind us. And when our attention is focused behind us on things that we really have no control over anymore, that means we're not looking forward. We're not looking where we want to go, and we can't make things the best that they can be moving forward. I was stuck in a rut. I didn't like my job anymore. It wasn't inspiring to me, and frankly, it was bringing me down. Now, I was lucky enough. I had the support of my wife. The business had value. I was able to change that situation and get out of that rut. If you're in a rut and you have the power, you have the means to get out of it, to change things up and try something new, something that you want to do that. Now, this next one has a little special meaning for me because I call this channel Disrupt Retirement for a reason. And what people who know say is, don't retire. And they don't mean don't end your first career. If you've earned that, if you're financially able and you're in a rut and you want to stop, go ahead and retire from that job, but don't retire from life. I accept the fact that I cannot age backwards, but what I can do, what I'm able to do, and what I do every day is have gratitude that I'm here, that I get to spend time with my wife, with my friends. I get to watch my kids get older. So turning back the clock, aging backwards, yeah, that's not something that I want to do anymore. Right now, I just want to be happy where I am and live the best life possible.